Hello, welcome back to Rented Space. My name is Lindsay and thank you for joining me this afternoon. Today I am getting around to using my Kmart jars. These are 260 mils and they are the lever edge lids. Now I am getting all my herbs and spices and flavourings all into my jars. So things that so these jars are actually, I have actually done a video of it as well if you haven't already seen it, but from Kmart they were $1 each, so $1.80 for that, $1.50 for that, $2 for, depending on, you know, from a dollar to $2.50 depending on what herb spice you're getting, you know, to $2 for that, which that's 16 grams, and this is 25 grams. And then $1 for that. It's much cheaper to buy twice the amount of whatever spice herb and then put it in my big jars. I will go back to going to wholesale stores as well and buying stuff that I go through a lot, but at the moment I'm just trying to just start over again and have the stores for my cooking. So I have in here lots of different bits and pieces. I have taco seasoning from when we've had tacos. We love our tacos, whether we have hard shell, soft shell, tortillas, enchiladas, whatever it is, we love our Mexican. So I actually end up with extras of these because for a while, especially during the dreaded virus, when things were tough, often you could buy the packs but not necessarily the individual tortillas by themselves. So we ended up with lots of packs, which to be honest, I don't mind. I have re-found my recipe to make homemade taco seasoning. So once I've gone through this, I will do a video if you all want to see it. I made it years and years ago, and just by fluke, I had shared it on Facebook. So I found this maybe 10, 12 years ago, and it was a game changer for me because I could save a fortune making my own taco seasoning, and it was exactly how we liked it. And then I didn't have excess or we weren't sure. So once I've gone through all of this, I will start to make my own, and like I said, I'll do a video. If you want to see it earlier, just leave a comment down below and I will see about getting to it earlier. We actually also make a Mexican dip that is avocado with lemon juice, sour cream and taco seasoning, diced tomatoes and shredded cheese. It is to die for. Absolutely amazing, and it is one of those dishes that whenever I go somewhere I'm always asked to make it. And to the fact that when I have a party and if I haven't made it, which it was our son's 18th last year and I didn't make it, I had about 20 people asking me where the dip was that I had not made, because it was his 18th and I thought a whole bunch of 18-year-olds, no one else would want to eat it, so I didn't make it. However, my daughter's 18th this year and I'm guessing I will make it, but I think I might be smart and make it in my little containers so that people can spoon it onto a plate or something, I don't know. But anyway, so we are going to go about and get this fixed. Now, just grab my scissors. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, these have all been put through the dishwasher and air dried so that I know that it is nice and dry. There is no mold or anything going to get in. I really love the fact that these have these seals. Now I did buy a couple first just to make sure that they were going to be decent, and I've been using them. I had some mixed herbs that I'd bought in a large bag, so I've used for those, and I also have another one with some sugar in it. Now if your sugar doesn't get clumpy in it, you know that it's got a decent airtight for it. And of course I've gone and jammed my lid playing with it, but anyway, so I'll put that one aside and I'll fix that later. Okay, so open. Now I also have my stickers that I bought from Kmart. Again, that was in the same time that I bought the jars. Now I don't even know if they have a taco seasoning on here, probably not. Hot chili powder. Oh yep, taco seasoning. So we will get the labels. Now I'll lift the lid. Just grab my, these are one of my unpaper towels that I use. I've just made these myself. I have, the ones that I do for the kitchen are brand new towels. The ones that I use for cleaning, and I have little ones for makeup wipes as well for the girls. They are made out of old towels that have got a hole in them, and I just cut them up and waste not, want not, hey? And then I just buy the fabric from the discount stand at Spotlight, or if I see nice fabric that I like that's cheap. Ultimately they're going to be used for rags. So like this one's got a burn mark on it because I use them at the stove. I use them for wiping up spills on the benches. I use them as oven mitts because oven mitts are too big for my hands, and then I tend to burn myself. But I love them, they're great. If you would like, I can do a tutorial on how I make those. Again, leave a message in the comment, and I'll leave a comment, write something in the comment, and I will look at doing a video on those. So I'm just going to tip these in. Now, like I said, I should have actually got my bin over here so I could put all the rubbish straight in the bin, but anyway. I wasn't that smart, unfortunately. Not today. I've actually already been out in the yard and picked some macadamias from my tree. I have picked some off the ground as well, to be honest, but I've picked off the tree, and I have them out on a pallet in my fruit and veg bags, the mesh bags, drying. So much easier when they dry out, but they do take forever to dry. And we've had so much rain that they're probably not going to dry on their own accord. Some have, but not a lot. So what I'll do is I will show you. I might go out, and I'm going to go and pick some more later, so I might take you out with me and we can do that. You can pick some macadamia nuts and then put them out on the shelf to, out on the pallet, I mean, so they can dry. Okay, so there we go. Ooh. Number 1, taco seasoning. And you know what I've done. Probably not the smartest place to put it. I thought it was a good idea. You probably can't even see it. It's quite small. Let's see, can you see it? There you go, but you can't even see because the... Not a smart thing. Now let's see if I can get it off without wrecking it. Yes, I can. I'm going to lock that back up. And I'll have to do it at the back. So there we go. My taco seasoning, 1 down. Now I do also have some of these meal spices. Some are from HelloFresh. Some are from another company. Yeah, so some of my friends still get all these. So now I'm probably not going to get a lot of these ones in my stickers, but we'll see what I can. And if not, I'll just have to write on them with a marker until I can get some. What I'm going to do is I've gone through, I definitely don't have jerk seasoning or Persian spice. What else have I got here? Cinnamon, sugar, hot chili, herbs. You know. Okay, so I might do the Persian spice first. I actually have a lot more of this stuff than I thought I did. Goes to show I have to actually clean out my pantry, but I thought I'd do this first and then so these are all at the end of the year, so I'll go the 30th of the 12th, 22. Realistically, a lot of this, even though that's the use by date, I could keep using it after that date, depending on what's in them. However, these do actually have some other stuff in them, and these are great because they were free for me. Some of them were from meals, but the majority were given to me. However, buying fresh herbs or growing your own means that they're fresher, better, and you know what's in them. There's no agents, there's no... Now, a lot of my family are gluten intolerant, so I won't be able to use most of these because, for instance, this one is the Mexican season. It says may be present gluten. So even if it doesn't say that, I'm just going to assume, unless it says gluten-free, that they contain gluten, and my family won't be able to use them. So that is the other thing about buying the taco seasoning. So, for instance, I don't know if it'll say it. No, it doesn't say it on here. In the boxes it would. But they've got other things in them that you don't actually need. So when you make your own, it's healthier for you. But I'm not going to throw out free because it's free. And we're all on a tight budget, and we have to do what we have to do to make sure that to save money, so that we're not wasting it. So jerk seasoning. And again, that's the end of the year. Right. So crack these open. Just trying to give the texture a bit of time to dry in between doing them. What else have we got? Mexican seasoning. Now there's a curry, which I'm pretty sure I have curry here. No, it's pretty good. I'm pretty sure that there'll be a curry on here, surely. Ground clover, celery. Come on, really? No curry? Ah, curry powder, there we go. Told you there'd be one. So curry, and then all-purpose. All-purpose, all-purpose, all-purpose. So tell me, what are your favourite herbs and spices? What are things that you can't go without in your pantry for your cooking? I love my garlic and herb salt. So let's get this Persian seasoning done. I'm going to be smarter with this lot and just cut the corner off instead of the... And again. And I think that's my last one of these. Yep. So now, like I said, so here we go. Here's some of those. Now this is Parsley, so I do use a lot of that as well. And this is quite a big brand. I mean, this is 15 grams net, but it's a big bag, as you can tell. And I couldn't tell you now, I bought it a little while ago, but you know, it's maybe $1 or $2, opposed to, you know, $2 for a jar. Okay, now I have actually got parsley out there growing, so I am very excited that I will be able to get some of it myself soon. I do not have a dehydrator, so at the moment I've been using it fresh, which is why the parsley here is been sitting there and I haven't used it so much. While I have the fresh stuff in my garden, I will pick and use the fresh stuff. Tastes so much better. Now I actually learnt recently on a video, this is something I actually never knew, which makes so much sense as to why when I was younger I could put, you know, so much seasoning in and I'd never taste my herbs. But most herbs and spices are actually, if you put them straight into your sauce, you won't get your full flavour. So what you should do is, so the same way you do your garlic and your onions in the oil, that's when you should do your herbs. Now, I don't know a lot about it, and I am going to research it some more. But if you want to hear about it earlier before I do a video, I am going to Google it and I'm going to do a video on it because I found it really interesting. And when you're a learner, like when you're learning, you don't know these things, and no one tells you. And it's not something, these days things aren't passed down with so many families the way it used to be. You know, my mum worked a full-time job and she was a single mum. So my mum didn't, and my mum, God bless her soul, and may she rest in peace and not be cranky at me saying this, but my mum was a horrible cook. My mum had her signature dishes, and roast was one of those, and she made the most amazing roasts and the most amazing Yorkshire puddings, and that is a recipe that I got from my grandma on my father's side. Okay, my mother being Scottish, her delicacies were for my granda, and they were like haggis and things, and that's something my mum never cooked. She only cooked it for my granda, and thank goodness, because I wouldn't have liked it. But anyway, so on another YouTube channel, it is Becky from Acre Homestead in, she is from America, so obviously I'm in Australia, but I do love how she cooks, and she cooks a lot like I have always, you know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and I love doing double, triple batches so I can freeze it, and then when I come home from work I can just put it all together or reheat it. Spaghetti bolognese is something that I have always done in a big pot, and I used to have a huge 20-litre pot, and I used to cook up 5 or 6 kilos of beef and pork mince, and I would make my spaghetti bolognese in that with fresh vegetables, and I used to puree the vegetables when the kids got to a certain age and they become picky. And it was actually the dish that my son, he's very good at cooking spaghetti bolognese, it was his favourite thing to cook with mum as a kid growing up, and he loved it because the girls hate spinach, hate it with a passion, hated it. My youngest daughter, if she sees it, she just won't eat the meal because she knows it's in them. But when they were little, I used to puree it, and so it was my way of getting my son loves spinach, so he loved it, and then he would eat more spaghetti bolognese, which obviously is a cheap, easy meal that he didn't mind, but it was never his favourite. But because he knew that I'd put spinach in it and the girls hated it, he would love it, and he would request it once a week because he would sit there and laugh that his sisters were eating spinach when they didn't know it. So but doing big meals like that, I really like Becky for that. She does those big meals, so credit, you know, go have a look, but check her out. And she explains in a lot of her food how if it's an oil soluble, I think is what she says. So basically that you get your best flavour from your dried herbs and spices by putting them in the oil, because the heat will actually release the flavour and the oil like takes it on. Whereas if you put it in the sauce, you might as well just put paper in there. You're not going to get the same effect as if you do it in the actual oil. So that is something to look at. But like I said, Becky at Acre Homestead, you know, I really do like that. Oh, you know what? I didn't put my parsley on there. So I was so busy talking. Never say I don't know how to talk. Parsley, parsley, parsley. There we go. And I have basil. Basil leaves. That's my next one. I'll do it before this time so I don't forget. The other thing I like about these jars, besides the fact that obviously they are large, they're resealable, they're reusable, when I do go to buying, I mean, I'm not a big fan of plastic, don't get me wrong, but once I do start growing a lot more of my vegetables, herbs and spices, and I can get things and get a dehydrator. That's one of my presents that I want this year. But you know, there's a lot of presents I want this year. And they're all for the kitchen and the garden. But anyway, so my aim is, as we get more and more of my herbs and get them built up better, I want to be able to dry my own and use them, and these will be great because I'll be able to just wash them, reuse it. I got coriander, no coriander seed. Oh, there it is. Excuse me. I was telling my daughter if I had some spare, she could use them for her hair tonics and that, but I don't know if I'm going to really have any. Excuse me, let's see, I've got smoky paprika, smoked paprika, I ran out of my little clips, so some of them have rubber bands. Alrighty. Look how pretty they're looking in the jars. So thyme leaves, that's something else that I'm hoping I won't have to buy next year or buy again after this, because my thyme has all of a sudden taken off. So I've got it in pot outside, but I've actually got a couple of spots in my garden that I'm about to transplant some of it over into to make a full herb garden out the front. I'm trying to make the garden look nicer and be so that if I leave, it's not completely heartbreaking that I'm leaving it behind. I mean, obviously I'll still be sad to lose it, but if I keep some in pots and then plant some out the front, it means too, as I walk in the door and I know I'm cooking something, I'll just be able to grab it on my way. I do have still a few things, but most of it's done now. So let's have a look at the difference though. I really need some more rosemary. As you can see, look, now I know I need more rosemary. Oh, I've got some there. Oh, look at that. Anyway, I have, oh, that's why that's so small, because I put them in there. I filled up the old jar. That's right, I filled up the old jar, and there you go. So, jerk. I've got my thyme. I have my pepitas, or pumpkin seeds. I have parsley, my basil leaves, my taco seasoning, my Mexican seasoning, my coriander seeds. They're ground, by the way, ground coriander seeds. I have my curry powder, and I have my Persian spice. And then over here I have my smoked paprika. And see, then you look, you can see what it all is. So when I bought these jars, I also got these from Kmart. Like I said, I did a big Kmart haul, and there is a video for that as well. So these jars may be slightly too big, but and now I'll be able to see what I have. Thank you so much for coming and spending your time with me. Thank you again, and please write comments down below. If you liked it, press like, and if you want to see more of my videos, thank you again, and have a lovely afternoon.